Shannon?
Colin? Colin Crowley! Oh! You nearly scared me to death.
Yes, I see that. I'm frightfully sorry, really.
What are you doing here?
I came to see you. But I didn't mean to scare you.
Well, I'm not usually this jumpy. It's just that, oh, we've had the sneaking suspicion that someone has been hiding out here, watching us or something.
I'm afraid I have to confess. It was I.
Now, why would Andy have missed his appointment with this Tim Price? He was so excited about it and about talking about his photography.
I'll tell you why. Because he's in trouble, because he's probably sleeping off a drunk from the night before.
Wait a minute. I don't mean to underestimate Andy's problem. But instead of flying off the handle all the time, why don't you come up with something constructive that may help the kid if he is in trouble?
I'm trying. You don't think I will? I just... All right. I'm going to call this list of hotels that Professor Wilcox gave.
Wait a minute. Do it here. I think I should talk to him first, if you do find him.
Will you please remember what Al-Anon told you about bailing the kid out every time he gets...
I know what Al-Anon told me. But I agree with John. If this were your son or daughter, you would hardly sit there and just do nothing.
You may be right.
I'm trying to find...
I'll be at the hospital if you need me.
Andrew Dixon. I'm wondering if you have an Andrew Dixon registered with you.
Iva.
Morning. May I come in? Look, I know you didn't think anything would be accomplished by talking, but I didn't sleep last night, and this morning Mama was asking me all sorts of questions about why Ellie's staying in town, and I didn't know what to say, and...
I understand. Can I call you later?
Well, is there anything wrong with now? Eva? Hi.
As the world turns. This portion brought to you today by rich, delicious, mountain-grown Folgers crystals.
Sorry.
Iva, please don't go. Now, I know this is uncomfortable for all of us, but I just wish you'd come in so we could talk, please. What'd you tell Mama?
I told her that you had a lot of work to do and it was easier for you to stay in town.
Maybe you should just tell her the truth. I mean, Ellie and
Kirk, it's not her responsibility to tell Mama anything. It's my responsibility. I'm just not sure what the truth is.
This was a really big mistake.
Iva, please don't go. Please?
Sorry you had to go through that.
Me. What about Iva? Do you have any idea what it took for her to come over here and how devastated she must feel to see us together?
Hi, Lily.
Hi.
Listen, have either of you seen Iva lately? She's not in her office. I thought she might be here.
No,
I don't
but
see her.
when I see her, I'll tell her to call you. Are you going to be at the office?
Oh, yeah. Emily, you might as well come to the office, too. There's no sense working at home now that Barbara broke the contract.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Lily.
Well, that's showbiz. We'll just work harder and bring in new and better clients.
Well, I know I'll do my best. I'll be in the office in a little while.
Splendid. Make sure that Ivor calls me, all right? Bye-bye.
Splendid. It's getting more like her mother every day. When is she going to move into your old condo?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just glad to be rid of it and all its memories. The painter said that the carriage house is going to be ready for me tomorrow.
No. No, I'm going to miss you.
You are going to miss me.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No, but I think you should have your space back to yourself again. I mean, what would happen if one night you met some eligible young man and you wanted to take him home with you?
Bite your tongue?
I'd rather not. Look, now that Lucinda's in quarantine, John's a free man.
No, look, I'm not going to repeat that same mistake. I'm going to go on that cruise. I'm going to see if there are still any really eligible men walking into...
Oh, get that. I got to go to the movies before I go to work. I'll see you later, okay?
Okay.
Emily?
Yeah?
You got a minute?
Sure.
I had a talk with Barbara last night, and she said that you threatened to tell Hal she knew about Adam.
It's just something that I said. It's not something that I would really do, Bob.
That's what I thought, too, but I just wanted to hear it from you. You know, you do that kind of thing, and it can come back and haunt you.
Yeah, well, it already has. I guess Barbara didn't feel it necessary to tell you the rest of the story. She tried to have me fired from M&A, but Sean and Lily wouldn't have it, so they asked me to continue working for him, but doing it at home. And as soon as Barbara found that out, she pulled a contract from the company. It's really nice of her, wasn't it? I'll see you guys later.
Did she tell you about Barbara and M&A? Well, that's nothing for you to worry about.
I'm not going to. Nothing I can do about that either.
What else can't you do something about?
Oh, Andy missed an appointment that he had in Chicago. John got wind of it, and when I left home, he was beating Kim into a frenzy. I had to get out of there before I lost it.
Colin, answer something for me. What were you doing lurking about in the shadows these past few days? You must have known how happy I'd be to see you.
On the contrary, I wasn't at all certain. When I was painting your portrait at the castle, I made it clear that my feelings for you were, well, far stronger than your feelings for me. And of course, there is the small matter of a jealous lover, now husband.
Well, Duncan has completely forgiven and forgotten any sort of jealousy he might have had for you because you painted such a splendid, dashing portrait of him for my wedding gift. Oh, I wish you'd come to our wedding.
Oh, no, you don't. Not the mood I was in. I was wallowing in melancholy over my divorce from Sabrina.
Yes, Franny told me about it. There's no chance for reconciliation?
Oh, no. It's final. Irrevocable. Yes, Sabrina's very bitter now. Refuses to have anything to do with me. Yeah. Marriage was doomed from the start. We were both on the rebound. She was just coming off a bad experience with Seth, and I was trying to get over my feelings for you.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what you were going through when I called to commission Duncan's portrait.
I'm glad you did. I needed something to take me out of my doldrums.
Well, all the more reason why you should have shown up at our wedding in Scotland. It was the most beautiful Celtic fantasy. Lisa and Beatrice and Brian were there in Margaret's old castle.
And Margaret, was she there too?
I'm sure she was, and Angus. They both heartily approved.
Yes. Well, I'm sure they wouldn't have wanted me to be there. And I'm also sure that Duncan was glad I was very far away.
No, no. Any wee bit of jealousy he might have had for you before we got married, he's gotten rid of. And he'll be delighted to see you now, especially to find that the mystery of the Larkinabout stranger has been solved. Oh, Duncan! Speak of the devil. Come, I have a surprise for you. Look who's here.
Hi, quite a surprise. Well, Crowley, what brings you back to Oakdale?
No, careful, Tom. There are no locks on these doors. Antonio Reyes and his new anchor woman could burst in here at any given moment and get compromising footage of the DA's private love nest.
Public's gonna be shocked to find out there's a DA that still loves his wife.
Shoot.
Don't get it.
Detective Hughes.
Hello, Margot. It's your father. Listen, I'm over at Kim and Bob's, and I have a favor to ask you.
What's happening?
I'm hoping that we can all find out. Andrew went to Chicago. He was going to meet with a photographer friend of his professor here at school. However, he never kept the appointment. Now, I called around Chicago, a number of hotels that the professor had recommended to Andrew, and I did find the one he checked into. However, he checked out of it yesterday.
Maybe he didn't like it there and he checked into a different one.
Well, that could be, yes, but missing the appointment is a little odd. It's not really like Andrew. And with Andrew's history, well, I'm just a little afraid he might have fallen off the wagon. I was wondering if you know anybody on the Chicago police force.
John, I know some people on the force there. I could have them ask around informally, but if Andy gets wind of us checking up on him, he's...
Well, I want to find out. I mean, Kim and I are both very worried about the whole thing. See what you can do, will you? And I'll stop by later.
I take it John's in a panic over Andy.
Yeah, I know he has every right to be, but he's not helping Andy.
Yeah, well, I'm with my dad on this one. I think there's a time when parents just have to let go.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you weren't quite so circumspect when Leanne came in this morning to get her books.
That's because it isn't that time with Leanne yet.
I got work to do.
Yeah, me too. By the way, let me know when Hal gets back. I'm waiting on those papers from Washington.
Oh, I can hardly wait till my partner gets back here. I'm sick of going this alone.
I gather you're not the only one. My mom says Barbara had another clash with Paul. It's almost made her a basket case.
I see you pretty tight with that little waitress at the diner.
It's not that. Marie's one of the only things in my life right now that are good.
Yeah, well, I don't mean to be dipping into your business, but I told you the first day you were here. I read the newspaper. I know your history. Now, if you're split down the middle, now you go see a shrink. But don't bring it up on the girders. Now, if you can't fix it, you go see the foreman. Or I will.
I can fix it. Don't worry.
I'll see you up top. But only if you're ready to work.
You know I hate when you come in here.
I know. I had no choice. I just can't go on living with things the way they are.
And change them, Mom.
I'm trying to, Paul. That's why I am here. Don't you understand? I know that I have made mistakes, but they're because I love you. And I worry about you. Can't you understand that?
No. What happened between Emily and me was our business. You had no right to try to use that to end her career.
Well, I'm sorry that you see it that way. I'll tell you what, I will go back to Montgomery & Associates, and I will resign, and I will ask Lily to give Emily her job back.
Just don't get it, do you? It's not that. It's too late to say you're sorry. It's what you already did. Think about it. Why don't you think about somebody else for a change?
Paul, I always think about you. I always want what's best for you.
That sounds familiar. Dad always used to say that.
I am nothing like your father was.
Why don't you think about that, too?
You don't get it at all, do you? Paul, Emily is not the victim that you've made her out to be. Now, I know that there's this bond between you two, but take a look at her life. Take a look at her history. Look at the men that she's chosen. First your father, then Antonio Reyes, and now Brock Lombard.
Look at the men you've chosen before Hal, Mom.
Look, I'll do whatever it takes to make this up to you if you just say that you'll forgive me.
No. I can't handle that right now. Not after the way you've played around with my life. But do me one favor, Mom. Don't ever treat Hal like this, all right? Because he's a very terrific guy and he loves you very much. But he'll walk just like I am if you ever play games with him. I just hope you learn that before it's too late.
Oh, you're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. Don't shut me out.
Sorry. I've got to get back to work.
Oh, Duncan, can't you at least stay for a cup of coffee with Colin?
Actually, no, I can't. The news isn't going to wait for me to have coffee.
Well, you can always stop the presses, can't you? Men in your position?
Well, Duncan is working on a very new plan to launch a new...
That's on the QT yet.
Well, who's Colin going to tell?
Well, he probably already knows anyway, since he's been lurking about our home, eavesdropping on us for the
Duncan,
past
he
few days.
explained
Not to my
that.
satisfaction. Tell me something, Colin. Isn't it customary to knock on someone's door to find out whether or not you're wanted rather than sneaking about?
I was afraid I wasn't welcome. I didn't want to embarrass anyone, myself included.
I see, so you chose to scare Shannon half to death on the stairs the other day. How did you get in, anyway?
Through the front door. Then I got lost in the warehouse, and I thought I was in the wrong place. I had someone coming, so I thought I'd better leave. Without so much as a pint of your good Scotch whiskey, I might add.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for demonstrating the need for a security system here. I'll have one installed immediately.
Well, how long do you plan on staying here, Colin?
Oh, I'm not sure yet. Depends on a number of things. I have very fond memories of Oakdale. After all, my career soared to new heights when I was here.
Tell me, Colin, do the Hughes know that their ex-son-in-law is back in town?
I haven't spoken to them yet. I'm not sure I'd be welcome since the divorce.
Oh, why don't you just go lurk about their garden for a while?
Duncan! There's such a sense of humor, don't you think?
I must say, Crowley, with all this uncertainty about your reception here in Oakdale, I really don't understand how you had the guts to come back.
It's quite simple. I'm an artist. I need inspiration. I found it here once. Perhaps I will again.
There you are. I was having coffee downstairs because I wanted to catch
hi.
you before I had to leave. Hi.
Yeah, I got a late start because of Caleb.
Actually, that's exactly who I want to talk about. I'm worried about this trip with Julie.
Why?
Well, Julie isn't exactly a saint.
And Caleb is?
Do you know why Julie came to Oakdale?
Because she was Duke's friend?
Lucinda paid her to come here to lure Duke back to Seattle. And when he didn't take the bait, she told him that she was pregnant, which she was, but with another man's child. In fact, she's got 2 kids back there, who are being raised by their father, by the way, because she is declared an unfit mother. Anyway, John gave her $50,000 to get out of town and stay out, but she only got as far as Chicago to get an abortion, and then 2 days later she was back here making a play for Andy Dixon. And then Tonio came along with a modeling career, and she left Andy. I guess she's got wind of Tonio now, because now she's living with Lisa.
Does Lisa know all this?
Well, you know Lisa. I mean, she always wants to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But I think somebody should tell Caleb.
Well, I'll tell him when he gets back, but you know, I think these kinds of things, it's always best that we learn them ourselves.
So, how are things going with Kirk?
Well, I stopped by the yacht this morning, and Ellie was there having breakfast. So I left as soon as I could.
What is he doing? He loves you. I know that he loves you. Maybe he's using Ellie to make you jealous so you come back to your senses.
Oh, well, that's an attractive thought, let me tell you.
I have a fight for him.
No, I can't, please. I've got too much to get through in therapy.
All right. Get through everything you need to get through in therapy, but what if you find out that you still love Kirk, but you've lost him?
Well, Paul's completely shut me out. I mean, he won't discuss anything with me at all.
Hi.
Barbara?
Hello? More of Emily's doing. She has poisoned all my relationships against me. She's even turned you against me.
Well, that's a lot of nonsense, Barbara. I'm not against you. I can't understand why Paul is upset.
I told Paul that I would go back with Montgomery and Associates even though Emily was there, and then he told me that I was as manipulative as James was.
I'm sure he didn't mean that. Listen, I'm going to give you some advice. Why don't you just forget about Emily for the time being and concentrate on the source of your real problem? Tell Hal the truth that you knew about Adam. I bet you, once you square away your marriage, your whole life will fall back into line again.
Well, I intend to tell him the minute I see him.
Excuse me. Gotta see a patient.
Well, I suppose I should call the station and see if Hal's been...
Hello, Barbara. I warned you to lay off my daughter, but you ignored my advice. So I think it's time people know just how malicious and vindictive you can be. Emily doesn't want to make waves, but I don't care. I'm going to tell everybody that you had her fired.
If anyone is malicious and vindictive, it is your daughter. She has been blackmailing me. Now, how do you think the family would feel about that, Susan?
I don't think you're going to tell him. You haven't even had the guts to tell your husband about Adam Hughes, have you?
That is my business, not yours. But I realize it's pointless to argue with an alcoholic mother whose slut of a daughter is finally getting exactly what she deserves.
Well, you're gonna get what you deserve once your husband finds out what you've been keeping from him.
And I hope he does. He does.
No, I'll tell you. Want to know what I think?
Sure, go ahead.
I think that you're not helping Andy by, causing this tension between Kim and Bob.
What are you talking about?
Well, Bob came by last night, excuse me, and, I don't know, I just got the feeling that you may be exacerbating the problem for Kim more than relieving it.
I think Kim is just as concerned about Andy as I am.
Yeah?
You're siding with the Hugheses again against your filthy father. Well, I should expect that. You're married to one of them.
Kid, here, there. Well, I've had my say. You can take it or leave it.
I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah?
How are you? I've been so preoccupied with everybody else's problems, I haven't had a chance to worry about yours.
No, I'm good. I'm great. Better than ever. Couldn't be better. No, I could be better. If Tom and I would have a baby of our own.
Really?
Yeah.
You must be careful. You've had problems with pregnancies.
Oh, yeah, but I won't. I won't anymore. I'm going to take a leave of absence next time.
Well, that wouldn't disappoint me at all. You know I do love you.
I know you do.
In spite of your unsolicited advice.
Well, I think that's an inherited trait from my dirty dad. So, how's Lucinda? Heard anything?
Not till she comes back, gets out of quarantine and is back. Will we know anything, huh?
No? You know, I talked to Craig. He is just as anxious as you to get her out of there.
Would you like your mother-in-law hanging around like that? I gotta get back to the hospital.
All right.
You give me a call if you hear anything about Andrew.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, I guess Tom's right. Everybody's got their own lives. They don't need me to tell them what to do and follow them around.
Are you still talking to yourself?
Oh, hell, Munson, you're back!
And it is great to be back. Oh, boy, I missed you and I missed Adam. How is our son?
He's good.
We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. And now, part 2 of As the World Turns.
Lily, do you want me to pick up the Green Acre Dairy account?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. Thanks.
Okay. You okay?
Have you ever done anything in the heat of the moment and then regretted it?
Me? Yeah, sure. Once, maybe twice.
Then, do you have some advice on the subject?
Some advice? Yeah, sure. Admit what you've done. Try to fix it. Lily, I want to tell you, I really feel bad about what happened with Barbara. I know you would still have her account if you weren't trying to protect me.
Emily, why does Barbara hate you so much? I know about Paul.
It goes way back. It started long before that ever happened with Paul.
You know, I have a feeling that Barbara's her own worst enemy. And she's gonna pay for it in the end.
Yeah, well, when she does, she's not gonna have my sympathy.
Oh, Mac, will you calm down and relax? No. Hal is back, so I'm sure that between the two of us, we can hold down the fort here.
This is really great. How did you know when I was coming back?
I didn't. I just thought I'd stop over here and see if Margot knew. Maybe you'd called in or something.
Yeah, well, I didn't because the whole thing happened really fast. I don't know what Lisa said to Jason Benedict, but it sure put a fire under Joe Bailey.
All right, I will, thanks. Well, Max says welcome home.
Hey, how's his heart?
I'll tell you about it later. Now I think you should spend some time with your lovely wife.
I think that's a good idea. Home, baby.
Oh, you sure are. Oh, boy. I missed you so much.
Hey, are you okay? Jason said Lisa was worried about you.
Yeah. Everything's better now. Things have been a little strained between me and Paul.
How come? He seemed perfectly agreeable about moving back into the house when I left.
Yeah, he was. And then he moved out again.
Why?
He's been seeing a lot of Emily, and it was obvious that he was about ready to fall back in her clutches again, just when he was meeting this nice girl named Renee, and...
Well, I still don't see why he had to move out of the house.
Let's not go into that right now, okay? Oh, just hold me. Hold me. Hey, remember that vacation we talked about?
Yeah, and I remember, but listen, I don't know if I can get away now with Mac out, but I'll try. You do look like you could use some fun in the sand and the surf. We can bring Paul along, maybe.
I don't think that will happen.
Why not? He's perfectly agreeable about going to Alva. Why not Florida?
Well, not after this morning. You see, I went over to the construction site, and I'm afraid that I just made things worse. Listen, there's something that, I need to talk to you about. Do you think you could get away for a few hours?
No, hon, I'm afraid I can't. I've got to get this information to Tom. He's waiting for this stuff on the Lombard case.
Well, damn the Lombard case.
Well, where did that come from?
I have something very important that I need to talk to you about, and I just don't want to do it here, okay?
Well, I wish I could, hon, but I can't. Can't it wait a couple of hours?
No, it can't. It's about you and that situation with Margot.
Oh, Barbara, not what you just walked in on.
No,
That was just
It's not that.
Well, hey, nice to see you back. Do you happen to have those papers I asked for?
I got them right here. Listen, Tom, they need a lot of explanation. I was just about to drop them off at your office.
Well, I hate to break up the reunion, but we got to get on this fast.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, listen, the sooner I get this done, the sooner we can be alone. Okay, where are you going to be?
I don't know.
Well, I'll find you, and then maybe I can help with this situation with Paul.
I don't think that's possible.
Let's go. Sorry about that.
Oh, your timing is just great, you know that? I was just about to tell Hal the truth when you and Tom walk right in here.
Barbara, I am
No,
sorry.
save it! Save it, Margot, okay? I am so sick of your selfishness. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't have to risk everything like this. I just pray that I have a marriage left after I tell Hal that I knew about Adam before he did.
I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to Caleb, Mama. I've just been real busy at the office. I'm having to stay in town because I'm very busy. No, I'm fine. All right. I'll talk to you soon. I love you too. Bye.
Airline sent your suitcases over?
It was really nice of them, considering it was my fault. I didn't take the flight.
You give them enough business. It wasn't your fault, it was mine. I think it stinks you have to lie to your family.
I'm not completely lying. I'm very busy. Olivia's furious I didn't make that
Don't
trip.
worry about Olivia. I'm in charge here, all right? I'm sorry I haven't seen you this morning. My schedule's been a little crazy.
It's okay. Mine's been busy, too. I'm glad.
Allie, what's going on?
What do you think is going on, Kirk? I thought the guilt would ease up, and it hasn't. Last night when I went to the farm to pack some things, I got mad at Iva. And then when she showed up at your place today, I can't do this. I can't handle it.
I'm sorry to complicate your life, but I'm not consumed by guilt or regret about what's happened. I still want to be close to you, even if that means being close the way we were when we were just friends.
We can't ever have that friendship again. We can't have that friendship. Everything's changed since we slept together.
That's right, it has, and for the better. Ellie, I wasn't just talking when I told you how I felt about you. For the first time in months, I like myself again. It's because of you, and I'm gonna fight for that.
Kirk, we can never have a relationship together as long as Iva is between us. And I should have never been at the yacht this morning, because if I hadn't have been there, I think that you and Iva would have resolved something. I believe that.
We're gonna get that chance. I'm gonna talk with her this afternoon. That's what you wanted, isn't it?
I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm feeling anymore. I'm very confused. I'm sorry. I just don't know what I feel.
Well, maybe you don't. But I sure do.
Hey, Hal. They said I had a visitor, but they didn't say it was you.
Hey, Paul.
It's good to see you. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. I hear you're having some problems with your mom.
Well, I think that you should hear about it from her.
I assume this has something to do with Emily.
Hell, I'd really prefer if you heard it from her.
How come? You and I have always leveled with each other. Whatever your mother tells me, Paul, I want to hear your side of it. She's already told me that she blames Emily.
That's typical. She gets Emily fired.
Hold it. Back up a second. She what? She got Emily fired?
I guess you're gonna hear about it eventually anyway. Mom told Lily to fire Emily. And she really didn't. Emily was working out of her house, but Mom found out about that and pulled out of M&A.
Incredible.
Yeah, it is. Look, don't be too hard on her. I already have, and she needs you more now than ever.
Hey, Ryan, what's happening? I can't work the girders alone.
I'm sorry, I just had some personal business to take care of. This is my stepfather, Hal Munson, my partner, Circus.
Hi, Circus. Good to see you. Well, look, if you got a personal problem or family business, hey, you ought to take the day off.
No, I don't want that. I'll be right up.
Okay, well, let's move.
Hal, I gotta go.
Yeah.
But please, try to help Mom.
A grand tour. Yes. I envy you and Duncan. If I could find a love like yours, well, I'm sure I could paint again. Great masterpieces. But I've taken up enough of your time. I think I'm going to take your advice and see the Hughes. And you must go back to the castle and take care of your business of tending to young lost souls.
I don't put any age limit on lost souls.
Well, you've captured this one.
Colin, it's nearly noon. Why don't you just stay for lunch?
I don't think Duncan would appreciate finding me still here.
Oh, yes, well, he doesn't even come home for lunch anymore now that he's at the Argus. I tell you, that job is more like a mistress than a newspaper.
Who is that young lady downstairs, by the way?
That's Diana Clifford. She runs McKechnie Wines and Spirits for us. Strictly business. I tell you, neither one of us is jealous anymore. We ran into a lot of old flames on our honeymoon, and we realized that once you're in love, jealousy is just a waste of energy. Oh, I'm sorry. You probably don't want to be hearing about love and happy marriage now.
I don't mind. It was difficult to break up with Sabrina, but not the grand heartbreak you imagine. To be honest, it was mainly my fault anyway.
Why?
I was obsessed with another woman. Met her at the art gallery. For a long time, I didn't understand even why I was attracted to her. So I saw you again. And I realized it was because she reminded me of you. Anna?
Duncan! What a nice surprise!
Well, I thought I'd surprise you with a little lunchtime lust.
Oh, well, I'm happy about that, but you just made a liar out of me. I just said that you never come home for lunch anymore.
I'm sorry I didn't get back to you sooner, but I had a patient going into surgery. You know, I was hoping we could have lunch together.
Oh, honey, I'd love to do that. Barbara's here right now, but I don't think we'll take too long.
Listen, take all the time you need. She needs all the help she can get right now.
Well, I'll be there as soon as I can. Right. Bye-bye.
Kim, look, if you're too busy to talk...
No, not at all. Honey, as far as I am concerned, now that Hal is back, he's the one you should be talking to.
I just tried to talk to him, and as usual, he was too busy to talk to me, though he did have time to give Margot this big hug and tell her how much he missed their son.
All right. Don't get all caught up in that, for heaven's sakes. I'm sorry if I can't be as sympathetic as you would want me to be, but quite honestly, I don't blame Paul for being angry with you after what you did to Emily and Lily. And as far as anything else is concerned, your main problem is the same one that you've had ever since you decided to keep the truth about Adam from Hal. If you would just get that straightened out. then maybe you wouldn't feel it was necessary to lash out at Emily and try to destroy her career. I mean, that sounds like something that Tonio or Lucinda would do.
I see, I see. So you are siding with Emily and all
No,
this? That's what's happening?
absolutely not. But you certainly could have diffused her threat by simply telling your husband the truth. Hello. Yes, she's here, Hal. Just a minute.
Hi.
Hi, I'm glad I tracked you down. Listen, I just saw Paul. I've got a few odds and ends to clear up at the office, but I should be able to be home in about an hour or so, okay?
Yeah, that'd be fine, but, honey, I asked you not to talk to Paul because I was concerned that he would tell you some things that I wanted to explain to you myself.
Well, I wish you had, Barbara, but understand, Paul didn't want to tell me. I forced the issue. In fact, he begged me to stand by you. I just like to hear your side of the story. Can you meet me?
Yes, I'll be there. I love you.
Love you, too.
Well, Paul just told Hal about Emily.
Well, that saved you the trouble. Now all you have to do is tell Hal that you knew about Adam before he did.
Yeah, hi, Dr. Michaels. This is Iva. I'd really like to talk to you today. Yeah, fine. Yeah, tonight is great. Okay, bye. Do you love her? Does she love you? Is this an affair, or is this serious? I mean, surely you've discussed this.
We've discussed a lot of things, but we don't try and analyze everything the way you do.
Come in.
Hi. Well, you wanted to talk? Here I am.
There you are. Casey told me I'd find you here. Would you like to have lunch with me?
Oh, I would love to have lunch with you. Let's go someplace really nice. I think I could use a steak.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I just, had a little run-in with Barbara. I think it gave me an appetite for red meat.
Ow.
Hello, ladies. Susan, can I speak to you for just a minute?
Sure.
I just discovered that you've taken yourself off the duty roster.
Yes, I want to devote all my time to research.
You know how short-handed we are.
I know how short-handed we are. When haven't we been short-handed? Look, I've had a lot of problems with my back, a lot of problems with Emily. I can't be treating patients when I'm this exhausted. I need a vacation.
Are you sure that's all there is to it?
Yes! I'm sorry.
Emily.
Hi,
darling.
Kim.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
All right. I just have been talking to Barbara. She's been telling me what's been going on between the two of you. I was just absolutely astounded. I think she realizes what a terrible mistake she's made, but I certainly would like to see both of you girls forget about all of this stuff. Put all this bitterness behind you.
Yeah, especially Barbara, considering it's all her fault.
Mom, Kim is right. We should just try and forget all of this.
Anyway, I'd love it if you'd come by and visit me. We'll have a nice long chat, okay?
Okay, thanks. I'd like that.
What do you hear from Andy?
Actually nothing. I'm trying very hard not to worry about him, but it's difficult.
Yeah, well, I'm sure John is doing enough worrying for everybody. Little trust would go a long way, you know. Steak.
I'll see you guys later. Mom?
Susan is in a very odd mood, even for Susan.
You know, I don't want to talk about Susan. I don't want to talk about Emily. I don't even want to talk about Andy. What I want to do is take my wife out to lunch and talk about the cabin we're going to be at next weekend.
Oh, say, listen. Casey told me that Susan was down here.
You just missed her, John.
Have you any idea why she took herself off the duty roster?
Let her tell you about that herself, huh? Let's go.
Okay.
Say, listen, that just might be Margot with news about Andy. Yeah, this is Dr. Dixon. Oh, yeah, sure, put him on. Hello, Paul.
I'm on my lunch break. I just tried to call Aunt Kim, but she was out. Look, I just thought you should know I got a call from Andy.
You did? Where is he?
He said he was in Chicago. I'm not sure exactly why he was calling. Look, I don't want to upset you, but the truth is, he wasn't making a lot of sense. I'm afraid he was drinking.
I'm gonna check the squad room, see if anybody knows where my wife is.
All right, Tom.
Hi, Hal.
Hey, Lily. You're on police business?
No. I heard that you were due back today, and I'd wondered if you spoke with your wife yet.
I know about Emily and Montgomery Associates, if that's what you're wondering. Okay.
Well, whatever you heard, just don't blame Barbara entirely. I mean, Sean and I handled it badly.
Very generous of you. Thanks.
Hope everything else is okay.
Why wouldn't it be?
No. Yeah. Hi. Hi.
Hey, I thought you were off to lunch.
Well, I am, but I wanted to deliver this one lone piece of personal mail. I don't know what happened to the Munson fan club, but...
Popular guy.
I guess I heard that you were out of town.
So, we'll see you.
Hey, I won't be here when you get back, okay?
Well, it's good. Your wife deserves some time with you.
Hal, do you have time for a cup of coffee at the little coffee shop around the corner?
No, I'm afraid I don't, Lily. I've got to finish up here. I've really got to get home. Maybe some other time. Okay. Detective Munson, I really don't know you, but I feel someone should tell you that your wife, Barbara, was aware Adam Hughes was your natural son long before you had any idea.
Stay tuned for Guiding Light, next on most of these CBS stations. Shearling by Cyril. This is Dan Regin, inviting you to join us again Monday for As the World Turns.